This topic I want to start classification of business activities. Okay, classification of business studies. This is your today's topic. So look here, we have categorized the business activities in basically in two types, as like this. Business activities, we have classified it into two parts, main two parts. First is industry and second is commerce. Okay, what is the work of the industry? Look here, it is relates on the concern with production, oblique processing of goods and material. Okay, while in the commerce it will be relates from facilitates exchange of goods and services, facilitates exchange of goods and services. Okay students, then which type of the work has been performed relates from the industry, that are called industrial enterprises. And which type of the work that has been performed by the business activities relates from the commerce, that is relates from the commercial enterprises. Okay, so here I want to tell about the industry. It means what is industry, how can you define it? Industry involves activities connected with conversion of resources into useful goods. Useful goods using technical, mechanical, and professional skills. Okay, the industry can be classified into three types. Industry can be classified into three types. So first look here, industry involves activities connected with conversion of resources into useful goods using technical, mechanical and professional skills. First, understand that type of the sentence. It means in which place where the raw material has been converted into finished goods, that type of the activities is relates from the industry. For example, I want to take one example here also. Listen carefully. Think about that. You are the owner of any cotton industries, as like cotton industry means as like relates from the any cotton industries. Okay, and that in that industry cotton goods has been prepared. Okay, so for that type of thing, cotton goods means that at the time of the purchasing of the raw material, that is called cotton in the sense of the Hindi rui. So in when the cotton has been purchased by the industrialists for the purpose of the manufacturing the cotton goods, so that type of the work has been involved in that cotton factory, cotton industry. That is, that type of the work is related from the industry, because on that these goods has been converted from raw material to finished goods. Okay, and what do you mean by the finished goods here? It means finished goods is ready to consume by the consumer, while in the sense of the raw material, the raw material has not been directly used by the consumer. For example, if you want to visit any shop to purchase any type of the jeans or t-shirt or any other cloths related from the cotton or any other, so it is necessary that type of the goods has been converted by the industrialist into finished goods, because after preparation, after that type of the stitching, after the weaving, after each and every process, it is capable to use by the consumer. Okay, so what is the work of the industries? It's clear. It means where the goods has been converted from raw material to finished goods, that type of the work is related from the industry. Clear? Now listen, industry can be classified into three types. First is primary industry. Second is secondary industry. And third is tertiary industry. Tertiary industry. So now students, now I want to tell about the primary industry. So now this is your page number 2 of today's class. So first point is primary industry. We can clear it on the basis of its activity relates from primary industry, as like primary industry include all activities related to point number A, extraction and production of natural resources. And point number B is reproduction and development of living organism, plants, etc. Okay, it means on the basis of its activity, we can also define the primary industry. So here the first question you will also put, what do you mean by the extractive industry? So on the basis of their classifications, we can also subdivide it also. Primary industry is divided as that will be related some as like this. First, extractive industries. So listen carefully. These industries draw or extract product from the natural resources. It means extractive industries are such type of the industries that can be used product that can be used, the material that has been automatically provided by the nature. There will be no requirement for any other types of the additions. So here you can also write it. These industries draw or extract products from natural resources. Okay, clear, students? So you can also tell it, the products are either directly consumed or supplied as raw materials to the other manufacturing industries, okay, for transformation into useful goods. It means extractive industries are such type of the industries, they will also provide the raw material to that type of the industry who has converted the raw material into finished goods. Okay, for example, I have taken previously as like you are the owner of the Naini cotton mill. So at that time you want to purchase the raw material. It means cotton. Cotton in Hindi you can also tell it rui. You want to purchase it from any industry. So from where you have purchased that type of the raw material, that type of the industry is called extractive industry. You can also tell it as like some examples. Farming, mining, fishing, etc. Okay, here you can also tell it as like iron ore extracted through mining is used by steel industry. Okay, so that type of the thing, that type of the iron that you have received, that you have get from the mine, so that type of the industry is related from the extractive industry. Okay, clear? So now the second part of the primary industry you will also see here. Now I will clear it in the next page, so please turn over. Now this is your page number 3rd for today's class, page 3rd. First primary industries type is extractive industry. So now second type is genetic industries. Listen carefully and look here. Okay, these industries engage in rearing and breeding of plants, birds, and animals for further reproduction. For example, you know about that, I have told you breeding of plants. You know about that, you have listened about the nurseries. Okay, for example, you can also tell it example, nurseries where plants are grown. So on that place, that type of the work is related on the breeding of plants. So that type of the industry is based on the genetic industries. So you can also write the example here, nurseries where plants are grown. Clear? Or you can also tell it the second example, poultry farms where birds are raised for meat and eggs. Okay, so that type of the industry is based on the genetic industries, because that will be related from the engage in the rearing and breeding of plants. Okay, birds and animals for further reproduction. So in that case, that type of the industries is called genetic industries. Clear, students? So students, first industry I have told to you, that will be related from the primary industry. Now second is related from the secondary industries. Secondary industries. Okay, so listen carefully. Process raw materials. Process raw materials provided by primary industries to produce goods for final consumption. So listen students, here it has been told to you, primary industry, where the goods has been supplied by the primary industries for the purpose of the processing. So which industries processed it, that type of the industry is called secondary industry. For example, you are the owner of the Naini cotton mill, so Naini cotton mill is related from the secondary industry. Clear beta? They include A point. Which type of the industry is related from the secondary industry? Look here. Manufacturing industries engaged in processing of raw material into finished or partially finished goods for use by other industries. Okay, or that will be also used by the consumer also. Some types of the goods that has been converted for the use of the consumers directly. Here you have got the words related from the partially finished goods for the use by other industries. So here I want to give one example related from here. For example, any type of the industries related from the extractive industries. For example, you have required the machine. Okay, so at that time the machine has been prepared with the help of the iron. So from which industry you have got the iron, that type of the industry is based on the primary industry. Okay, while in your industry the you have converted that iron relates into machinery, into that type of the goods is related from the machinery. After that, that machinery has been also used by the another industrialist, another businessman. So that type of the work is also based on the secondary industries. Okay, now point number B, page number 4. Okay students, point number B, synthetical industries. Engaged in mixing different ingredients to produce a new product. To produce a new product. So that type of the industry is also based on the secondary industry. C point. Before C point, I want to clear your synthetical industries. Listen carefully. I want to give here one example. For example, cement industry where cement is prepared from mixture of limestone, shale, gypsum, iron ore and sand. That type of the industries is based on the synthetical industries. Okay. Now C is analytical industry. So what is analytical industries? Listen. Analytical industries analyze and separate different elements from the same raw material to produce various finished goods. For example, you can also tell here one example as like oil refinery. You have also listened about the oil refinery. In oil refinery, the crude oil is processed into various finished goods. There are the different types of the various finished goods has been processed in the refinery, like petroleum, diesel, kerosene oil, gasoline, etc. So that type of the industry is related from the analytical industry, because on that place we have categorized, we have processed it into various finished goods. So if you want to write the example, you can also write it here. For example, in oil refinery, crude oil is processed into various finished products as like petroleum, diesel, kerosene oil, gasoline, etc. Okay. So on a specific place, on a specific refinery, here the goods has been converted, here the goods has been processed into various finished goods. So that type of the industry is also based on the analytical industries. Okay. Now D point, cosmetic industry. Okay, that type of the industry you can also clear it with the example as like soaps, creams, etc. are produced as a result of mixing of various chemicals. You have also listened about the different types of the soap as like Lux, creams, as like Fair and Lovely. So on that type of the industry, the different types of the various types of the chemical has been mixed. And after that, we will find out the results. We will find out the product that has been directly consumed by the consumer. Clear? So that type of the industry is based on the cosmetic industry. Now E point, assembling industry. Assembling industry relates from, you can also tell it, these industries assemble different components to make a new product. For example, you also tell it about that. For example, you have also listened, or you have also seen, or you have also done that type of the assembling work. For example, if you want to purchase any type of the PC, personal computer, desktop, laptop, so some persons assemble it. Assembling means the items, the parts relates from that computer, that personal computer is relates from the different types of the companies. Okay, so at that time, that type of the work is based on the assembling industries. You can also tell that type of the example here. For example, computers, automobile industries, etc. Okay, so it's clear now which type of the industry is based on the assembling industries,